To another video on Backpack Brawl. Today I'd like to walk you guys through Nymphedora. Now this hero revolves largely around the speed stat, as most if not all of her unique weapons give her some amount of speed each time they attack. This character, as of the recording of this video, can be unlocked for 150 of the in-game gems, the little green icon up the top there. And you can get those through watching ads and playing through the game and completing quests and things like that. So she is currently the cheapest of the heroes to get, and likely the first that you will unlock if you're playing this through free to play. So really quickly, before I jump into a game, I'll take you guys through a few of her key items. She really excels with the bows, her unique bows that she can build into here. She also has a unique dagger, but I haven't seen it to be as successful as the others, although it does have some synergy. It can take away, if you have limited stamina, which is often the case with this hero, can take away from some of your bigger damage dealers here, so you do need to be mindful of that. Another key thing to keep in mind with Nymphedora is because she tends to stack up on the speed stat, which I'll show here for you guys under buffs. It's actually titled Haste. So all items are 1% faster. So this is not just your weapons, but all items. So items that drain the enemy's stamina or increase your armor, they're all going to get sped up as well. So it makes those items as well particularly useful because they benefit from this. So this here is the basic starting bow that Nymphedora starts with, her weapon. And the basic building block for more advanced bows, which we are going to look for. And luckily for us, we immediately got a second bow, which I won't necessarily combine now, depending on what other roles I get for weapons. Another important thing to note with this game is every hero starts with a unique bag, and the Nymphedora's special bag is this. So inside items, well, specifically weapons, either melee or ranged, every time they trigger or activate, you have a 60% chance to gain one. So if I put my bow here, that's not going to trigger that chance ever. Whereas if I just put it inside either here, it only has to be inside at least one square. That will trigger 60% of the time, as well as this other bow. So that's one of the benefits of not combining straight away, because these bows here, they have a fairly quick attack rate, and this next one I believe is a little bit slower at 2.8. And of course, if we have two weapons, we're triggering this twice as often, but even more so because it has a lower cooldown. Okay, now I'm also going to pick up this bag, because they're obviously important. Because this is on sale, I'll take that as well. And the rock, just in case I get a bad roll here. I'm just going to pick up the Nightshade, but I won't be combining that for some extra damage. And because I don't have any other weapons at the moment, I'm going to avoid combining these for the time being, but I will likely do so later. Another thing to explain really quickly is her Dragon Leaf. So this is another one of her starting items, and if it is connected, and this is how it connects, with the stem, the staff that attaches to any weapon, then you're going to get 3 haste at the beginning of the match. So everything in your bag slots is going to be 3% faster. And because this is a level 9 Dragon Leaf, I also get a small chance to get an extra one at the start of the next shopping round. So without further ado, let's jump in.
You never stood a chance in my domain.
So we won that convincingly, which is great. I've just turned up my game sound, so hopefully you can hear that a little bit better, because that was very quiet before. Okay, so it looks like we've rolled into a broom, which I always love picking up early, because if you can get another one, you get a shovel, and that's just a very good economy item. So I'll be grabbing this next bag and this broom, and because we have now a third weapon, I'm going to combine our bow. Now that will put us over the 1.5 stamina, but I'm not too fussed about that. We'll be able to reduce that with our bow combination next round. Now the way this pumpkin guy works is he gets regen over time, which is why we saw his HP fluctuate for quite a bit in that match. Now we've combined into our next level of that bow, but you see here that the cooldown has increased. And look at that, luckily for us, we've just picked up our second broom here, which is fantastic. And even though having these 3 weapons in the bag is again going over the stamina usage, I'm going to keep the hunter's bow while I combine this, because it has greater damage. So these brooms will sometimes make my hunter's bow not fire because it won't have stamina, but when it does, it's still going to be better than just leaving these 2 here. So I'm also going to pick up this armored bag and pick up this sash, which gains me +2 luck, which is equivalent to, well, translates to +6 accuracy. And these weapons here, 85 and 90%, we do definitely benefit from +6. And that can go to the next fight.
You never stood a chance in my domain.
Another fairly easy win. Now that we've combined our 2 brooms into the shovel, so this is why I like it so much. Its stamina cost is reduced at 0.52, and on shop entered, it has a guaranteed chance to get a treasure for you. So that's where our economy starts to kick in. And you notice here that I have both of my weapons overlapping on my ranger's satchel, and you want to do that as much as you can are able to. So in the shop, I'm not seeing anything of real importance. That does combine with either a belt or a quiver, which we are both likely to pick up. So I am tempted to get that now. And in fact, I think I might. It also can touch, if it touches 1 or 2 accessories, you get an extra bit of haste. Well, at least a chance to. So we will re-roll the shot, and look at that, we've got another Nightshade, and it's still fairly early on in our matches, so we'll definitely be picking that up. And it looks like we got lucky with getting another Dragon Leaf from spawning from that, so we'll place that as well, but make sure it's touching a weapon if you can, to get that +3 benefit at the beginning. And then, because we're running out of a bag space, I'll lock that And what that does is that'll keep that item in place even when the shop re-rolls next round.
You never stood a chance in my
Now that was
domain.
pretty close, but we managed to pull through, scrape through. Now you notice our shovel has generated a treasure for us, and that must have been the poison apple, which is okay against pet builds, not that you see them very often. And then we got lucky here with our sash. We had a 12% chance to get a water potion, and that spawned in for us here. I'm going to go pick up this bag, and then what I'll also do, I'll rearrange that leaf and throw in another sash. Now they do combine into a belt, which is useful, but we don't currently have any meaningful potions, so I'm going to leave it because it does reduce their combined luck by 1, and I would prefer the extra luck at the moment. It also has the added benefit of attaching to this snake oil, so we have a 50% chance for each accessory that it's attached to. So it's effectively 100% chance to gain 1. Well, or equivalent to that anyway. We have enough gold to reroll, so we'll reroll again and see what we get. And that's actually really nice. I'll pick up a third nightshade to help us with our damage output. I'll pick up our luck, but I won't be combining that. That with the poison apple combines to a cursed clover, which does give our opponent a good debuff, but it also hamstrings us in our shop rolls, so I'll be avoiding that. Now with this item here, the amulet, that does combine with our weapon to improve it again, so I'll definitely want that for next round. Because we have spare bag slots, we might as well place our items in here.
You never stood a chance in my domain.
Now we've just gotten lucky again, and we've generated 2 extra dragon leaves. And from our shovel, we've got a poison potion, which is another fairly lucky generation here. No, scratch that. I've unfortunately, and not intentionally, combined one of my nightshades with a water potion. But no matter, that's not a big deal. It still does help. We've got a discounted stamina sack, so I'll be picking that up. I'll also be picking up that amulet to improve my bow again. And because we only have 3 gold, I don't like to re-roll on that, because whatever we do re-roll, it's likely that we won't be able to afford. Although it is possible that we can sell some things. What I might do is I'll throw these leaves up and replace the nightshades over here and throw that poison bottle back in. And we'll go for our next round.
As inevitable as the changing seasons.
Another convincing win. So I'll pick up the armored bag. Now, what's our stamina at? It is significantly low, so we can afford to put in another weapon. But because these two have such a high stamina cost, I'm not too inclined to do that. Because of the way the speed stat works, or the haste stat, sorry, we will eventually consume more and more although that is offset currently by this bow that uses 3 of our haste to gain +2 damage. Perhaps if I find an on-sale weapon that has a lower stamina cost, like the hook, I might pick it up. But for now, I will just re-roll. We'll get another bag slot, some more luck. And let's see if we can get this last dragon leaf on. Here we go. Now we're not up against Chana, so I feel safe to put that fish in, even though it's not going to do much for us at the moment. No, we don't want to be combining that. All that. I'm just going to lock this. So you can lock item so that it forces it not to combine with anything near it.
You never stood a chance in my domain.
There we go, we've got a broom from our shovel, another treasure, and another water potion. Now I almost always pick up these life essences because they can combine often into pets or items that give you life steal, and that can be quite a powerful buff. So I'll use one of my nightshades to combine to make a red widow. Then I'll also move my fish over so that it's also starred. So it gives me more chances to gain a little bit of regen. Now, although we have the broom here, that will put us over our stamina usage, and because it doesn't do too much damage, we're just going to leave it. We'll move that poison potion over and put our next dragon leaf on. I suppose we can chuck that up there too.
You never stood a chance in my domain.
Now, all 3 of these uniques are usable. This is okay if you've got a bow build and you're using multiple bows. This is similar, although I believe a little bit stronger because you're not usually using more than 1 or 2, and this seems to have slots for 5. And then we've got Infinity Sight, which also affects melee weapons, but it is also 3 spaces. Takes up 3 bag slots, which so do the others. However, I'm probably gonna go with the Fiery Quiver here. Now, this Dusty Book is an econ item because you have a 25% chance to get 1 essence, which is one of these. Let me just show you one of those, or any one of those down the second bottom here. But I'm looking to improve my power a bit, so I'll skip that econ. Now, because I've just picked up this unique, this is a more attractive option for me, so I might actually pick that up. And I'm looking for a bag now, which we've got. And now we'll have 2 chances to proc the extra fire damage. And we might as well pick up this last bag. And we'll put that luck in, which I should have done earlier before rolling. That's okay. And there's no real point to it putting that shield in because you're up against Chana. You only get plus 10 armor. But it's likely she won't have any melee weapons, so I might actually put that dragon leaf on instead. And we'll see how we go. We're likely going to run out of stamina pretty quick because of that third weapon that we've put in. But we're also dealing a decent amount of fire damage. And nothing here that I really want. So this is nice. I'll pick up another life essence and see if I can get myself a second Red Widow. But I'll also like to proc it if I can. And I'll also pick up this econ item, the bronze bar, that nets us 2 gold. And I'll shift up this light bow. There we go, that'll do. We'll go to the next fight.
As inevitable as the changing seasons.
Now let's have a quick look at our details. How often are we running out of stamina here? Just the once each, that's not too bad. Eventually I may get rid of that shovel, but it's still providing some good econ, and we're not quite close enough to the end for me to justify that just yet. So we will persevere. Good to note that we don't currently really have any armor or cleansing, so she's dealing quite a bit of damage with her bleed at the moment. Oh dear, I've just realized what I've done. I've accidentally combined the flower with the water potion again, instead of combining it with the life essence. That is unfortunate, but completely unavoidable. Sorry, completely avoidable is what I meant to say. I just didn't pick up on it. That is something to be aware of. Okay, nothing here that I love. We're re-rolling. So here we go, we've got the best cleansing item in the game pop up for us. So I'm happy to pick that up, especially since we're about to go up against a Chana. So I'll throw that in there. And I may replace one of these dragon leaves with the new poison potion that we picked up. And because we have those potions, I'll choose to combine these leather belts, but perhaps somewhere else, because I'd also like to use this quiver that we picked up and combine that as well. That's looking okay. Now, even with our crown, she's getting quite a bit of fire on us, but that's okay, because we beat her convincingly and quickly. Oh, I don't need that. I definitely like that. And we'll reroll. Now we were lucky to pick up another stamina sack, which perfectly lets us fill in the rest of our empty slots. I'll also pick up this fanny pack on sale for later. And this is the first time I got a golden egg this run, which is a little bit unfortunate. Would have liked that earlier, but that's okay. I'll get rid of that shield, I'm unlikely to use that. And probably not going to use this broom either, or that apple. I'm tempted to pick this up. I might lock it and roll and see what else we get. Ideally, we're looking for the improved version of this, which is the scale mail. That's just a better version, but on top of that, this scale mail also combines with this shadow armor, which is unique to this character, giving us an even more impressive armor item. So that is what we're hoping for. Whether that ever shows up or not, we're not sure. I might just let that one go and roll again, but before I do, I'm going to banish this sack because we don't need any more. We're just looking for fanny packs. Now this item here is fairly good. It'll make us invulnerable every 13 seconds, and it also marries well with our haste. So let's say we get a good amount of haste, that's going to drastically reduce how often this procs the ethereal cloak. And we have enough items in our little storage section here that we can sell some and pick that up, which we'll be doing. What we can also do is have it sit on this fanny pack here, which will decrease its cooldown, sorry, making it even better. And we might also throw this little spider on there. Now that we have the belt, we can position it in such a way that will add an extra use to this potion here, or both the potions here. So this is what the belt does. Either side of it, the potions get +1 use. I might throw that up there actually. We'll rearrange the potions. Now we actively have 4 poison potions instead of just the 2. That's fine.
You never stood a chance in my domain.
Okay, we're at 12 wins now, and we're running out of stamina, so here we've run out of stamina quite a few times, which is not great. We might simply get rid of probably our shovel. Even though it does more damage, that little bow is proccing our fiery quiver. So I'll go ahead and sell this shovel. We'll pick up that next fanny pack. And we'll also be picking up the shadow armor, hoping that we'll also get the scale mail later still. Now because these are on sale, I'll just pick them up anyway because we can always sell them for the same amount. I might end up with that actually. And just have a look at what's on offer. Get rid of that bag because we don't want that anymore. And we have space, so we'll pick up another clover. And get rid of this. This isn't really doing much for us, so I might just get rid of it, even though we don't have to. Pick up the egg. Even though it's pretty late in the run, I do still like combining these, and that will mean that we'll end up with 2 luck, which is not bad, plus some extra roll chances for our next few shop visits. So we're seeing now that our stamina isn't draining nearly as quickly, which is great.
The hunt ends, as it always must.
And we're still winning convincingly. even against characters with a lot of shield. It just takes us a little bit longer. Now this item is decent, even though we're not using the dagger, and that it does combine to improve it. It can still be a good pickup if it's on sale and you have the space, just to beef up your weapons a little bit. But because it's not on sale, I won't grab it. I do love the skulls, especially on this character with its increased haste, and it also conveniently combines with our poison potions, that will end up draining our enemy's stamina and inflicting poison. So I might pick that one up. Now if I did have a treasure chest already, I'd definitely be picking this up to combine into the Mimic. And because it's on sale, I might still do that. I can always resell it, and I'll just replace it here, but it's not that powerful by itself. You see, you only have a 5% chance to stun. So it's okay against characters that have heaps of weapons, but otherwise not so great. Oh, it's also decent against pets, as you can see here. And I might just get rid of this bag as well, because we don't need those anymore. We're just looking for the fanny packs. And because I have some selling power, I'm just going to re-roll to see what else I get. Now look at this. We've got a discounted shadow armor, so that's definitely something we can afford with some selling. Now usually I wouldn't buy two, but because this is discounted, I'm going to pick it up anyway. Unfortunately for us, this third quality, I suppose, here doesn't stack with this other one if it triggers at the same time, because it won't give us invulnerability for 2 seconds, if I understand that correctly. But what we can do, we've got a couple of fanny packs down here which we can replace one of our other bags, so that's gonna speed up this item, so we'll actually, I believe, should be triggering the invulnerability quicker than our other one on a basic bag. And we'll be invulnerable for a good amount of time with those two items plus the cloak here. So I'm going to put that here. I'm going to sell this, and then I'll need to sell a couple more items. Pick that up, and I'm going to place it here. And now here's the great little trick for replacing bags. We just choose that button there, and then that button will allow us to replace bags while keeping the items in place. So with that placement, we're now speeding up this by 20%, and we're also speeding up that little food by 20%, which means we'll be getting that haste and that cleanse more quickly. And we'll just get rid of that bag. Although, if you want to min-max, we can replace one of our standard bags with that armor bag, so we get +6 armor, which isn't really a big deal. I wouldn't usually bother to do that, but I'll just show you guys in case you're into that sort of thing. There we go.
As inevitable as the changing seasons.
There we go, we won that at near full HP, which is wonderful to see. And if you guys noticed, that armor was triggering slightly before this one, and then the next time it was triggering even quicker. Again, it's a great little offset that we've been able to accomplish. Now we pick up some more fanny packs. We're at 14 now, so I don't really care to bother getting that egg. Another fanny pack. Another, and we might pick that up as well. And we'll be replacing the bronze bar. We don't need that anymore, that doesn't do anything for us because we're at 14 wins. Let's see. Seems like we've picked this up, but we don't need mana, and we're not dropping low enough health, so I'm happy to just sell that. And maybe just roll again, or maybe pick up a little bit extra armor and just leave that for our options. I'll put that life essence in a better position, give us our luck back and roll. No, nothing of real importance there. We'll just use the coconut here and replace a couple more bags. I've chosen to speed up our bow a little bit while also speeding up our armor even more, so we're going to trigger that invulnerability even more quickly. Not that that's a big difference because we only get it twice, but that's okay. I'm not too concerned about that. And let's see if this is our last fight.
You never stood a chance in my domain.
Beautiful. There we go, guys. That is Nymphedora for you. We've got a perfect run through with 15 wins and no losses. Hopefully you've learned something, and when you get to play her, whenever that may be, I hope you enjoy. I'll just give you guys the fight details. So this is where most of our damage came from, that burn from the quiver that we picked up, that unique. And we blocked a little with our invulnerability. No out of stamina. That's about it. This is our opponent here. There we go, guys. Thanks for watching. Until next time, have a blessed week. Bye.